Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Cover Zero Podcast, the show where I cover the least in the best way possible. I'm your host, Jason Wells. Today is Friday, November 29th. This is the earliest I have recorded. As you all know, I record the day before, so this is Thursday, a little bit of time traveling here. But no, I am recording at 8 in the morning because there are 3 NFL games today. The schedule is weird this week. We got 3 Thanksgiving games. I guess happy American Thanksgiving to all the Americans, I guess. Sure, I don't know. Then there's a weird afternoon Black Friday game. No teams on bye. Everyone playing this week. Big week of football. And I am going to be boots on the ground in Buffalo this Sunday night to see them play the Niners. Hopefully the Niners actually field their A team and not their B team, because right now it is looking like their B team. And hopefully, when you're listening to this on Friday, I am a happy man, and the Dolphins season and the Dolphins playoff hopes are still alive. Because season starts Thursday night, but it could also end Thursday night. But this episode previewing this Week 13... previewing Week 13. I'm doing 3 blind recaps, doing a bit of an injury update, and also the NFL Weekly Update, as always on Fridays. But let's get into the episode here. Yeah, I am very excited for Buffalo, needless to say, going with Cam and Keegan. Obviously, Keegan, the Bills fan, Cameron, the Niners fan, and me just showing up in my Dolphins attire, trying to play, trying to play the middleman, trying to deflect people away from being mad at Cameron for wearing his Niners gear, because I will be in my full Dolphins apparel. I think my plan is, because I got like my Dolphins winter jacket, my cool starter jacket, I'm going to be layered up, but I think under the jacket I'm going to be wearing my Steve Tasker Bills jersey. So if any Bills start to be like, oh, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? I can just peek the Steve Tasker jersey out and they'll be like, okay, you can slide. You're pretty cool. Very excited for that. Very excited. I don't know. This is a big week in general in the NFL, but I get to see a game live up close, a primetime game nevertheless, but I will talk about that game when I get to talk about that game. I guess let's start off with the NFL Weekly Update. Starting off with some injuries here. Brandon Graham has torn his tricep, and that is it. He said before the season that this was going to be his last year in the NFL. And sucks that it had to end this way. The Eagles are on an absolute heater right now. They are definitely one of the favorites to come away in the NFC to make it to the Super Bowl. And it sucks for him to have it end this way. He has had a great career. Will definitely be a nominee for the Hall of Very Good at some point. But shout out to Brandon Graham. Very, very, very successful NFL career. Again, sucks it just has to end that way. Next up, Gardner Minshew, broken collarbone. I think I talked about that on Wednesday's show, but yeah, he is out for the year. Desmond Ridder, I think Aiden O'Connell, AOC, might be back, but it looks like Desmond Ridder is going to get the start. That's nasty. That is nasty. Bucs safety Jordan Whitehead has a torn pec. He is out for the season. Jalen Petrie has a partially torn pec. He is out for the foreseeable future. They put no timetable on it, but he will not be in the lineup for at least probably the next month. Breece Hall is dealing with a knee injury, and now he is doubtful for playing on Sunday. The Jets just had a bye week, so this knee injury came out of nowhere. Not good for all you Breece Hall fantasy owners. Good thing I traded away to Cam for a bounty of picks. My season is done. I got... How many picks do I have? I think I have 12 picks in the first 9 rounds going into next year, so I'm stocked up. I'm not going to Sudbury, But and finally here, Fred Warner has apparently been playing through a broken ankle since week 4. That's absolutely nuts. And he's relying on painkiller injections into his ankle to be able to play. That's a scary, slippery slope whenever you hear about stories of NFL guys getting hooked on painkillers, getting them for 2 months straight. And obviously the NFL doctors are like monitoring it and blah, blah, blah. But like the NFL doctors were supposedly monitoring it 20 years ago. And we all know that they didn't give a shit back then. Yeah, it's also weird because Fred Warner hasn't actually been showing up on the injury report, even though he's had a broken ankle for the past 2 months. It's also wild that his ankle would have been healed by now if he just, stepped away, being like, I gotta fix this. He'd be back and he'd be playing fine, but I don't know. That's a weird one, but those are the injury updates. Anyways, a few guys who are questionable, 50-50. I think a couple guys on the Colts. Josh Downs, Michael Pittman. Either way, I'm not really going to get into the minor injuries because there's always a lot of minor injuries in the NFL. We'll get on with the rest of the NFL weekly update, though. Daniel Jones signs with the Vikings to, I guess, be their backup quarterback. A little bit of a full circle moment for Daniel Jones. Just almost 2 years ago now, he went into Minnesota in the playoffs, and he had a honestly relatively spectacular game for Daniel Jones. Over 300 yards, 2 TDs, led his team in rushing yards, and won a playoff game, which I have never seen my team win a playoff game. So the fact that Daniel Jones was able to do that for his is crazy. But yeah, 2 years ago, from beating the Vikings in the playoffs to now joining the Vikings with Kevin O'Connell's reclamation projects at QB. Obviously, Sam Darnold is the starter. I think Daniel Jones is just going there to potentially, if something were to happen to Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones would go in and play with a very talented offense. But I think he just wants to play with a contender and maybe just ride the coattails for a Super Bowl ring. I don't blame him. I don't think the Vikings would have been that choice, but I think teams like the Chiefs and the Lions and the Eagles weren't really looking for backup quarterbacks, even though the Eagles should, because Kenny Pickett stinks. The Lions, Hendon Hooker, I'm a fan of, so that's fine. The Bills, though, are the team that I think should have really given Daniel Jones some serious inquiry. They got Mitch Trubisky as their backup. Mitch Trubisky absolutely stinks. Daniel Jones also stinks, but there's different types of stinks. I think Mitch Trubisky just stinks as an NFL quarterback, where I think Daniel Jones stinks as a starting quarterback, where as a backup, I think he would actually be not too bad. And I've called him the Walmart Josh Allen for years now, and I think that's exactly what he is. He doesn't have the same arm, doesn't have the same running ability, doesn't have the same anything as Josh Allen, but when Daniel Jones is on his game, he plays like a discounted Josh Allen. But he goes to the Vikings. Congrats to Daniel Jones, I guess, for finding a new home. We'll see how that shapes up in the offseason for him and how much attention he does get. But we can keep going. Left tackle DJ Humphries signs with the Chiefs after coming back from his injury. The longtime Cardinals left tackle has just kind of been waiting and biding his time, looking for a home, and when the back-to-back Super Bowl champs come calling, you answer that call. I don't blame him at all, especially because the Chiefs have a bit of a hole at left tackle right now between Wanya Morris and rookie Kingsley Suamataia. Neither guy has really been playing well, and DJ Humphries is old, but he's still an average left tackle. Again, we haven't seen him play football in quite a while, so who knows, but for what DJ Humphries has shown on the field over the course of his career, he has been a consistently average to above average tackle the entire time, and I expect him to come into the Chiefs, play the same way. This is kind of like when the Chiefs signed Donovan Smith away from the Bucks, when he was a little bit past his prime, but again, still solid. And when you have that interior of Joe Tooney, Creed Humphrey, and Trey Smith, it's a lot easier job on the tackles. They got Jawan Taylor, who they paid a lot at that right tackle spot, who's pretty good. Now they got DJ Humphries. That offensive line looks very, very good. No true weak points on it anymore, and that is huge for this Chiefs team, who is obviously gearing up for another Super Bowl run here. So, yeah, big move from the Chiefs. Shout out to DJ Humphries. Maybe you'll win your Super Bowl ring. I'm going to dive into a little bit of college football news, because it was too big of news to not really talk about, but Travis Hunter has not been named a finalist for the Jim Thorpe Award. The Thorpe Award is given out to the best defensive back in college. So yeah, you've heard that right. Travis Hunter, easily one of the best defensive backs in college, not named a finalist for award, despite being a Heisman finalist and Heisman favorite, obviously. But that accounts for the offensive side of the ball, and it's like, okay, whatever. But he's also been named, I don't know what the award is in college football, but he's also been named like Defensive Player of the Year, like a nominee for that. So I don't know how you can be a Defensive Player of the Year nominee and not a nominee for best defensive back in the country when that's your position. The bias against Colorado and the hate that some people in the media have towards Deion, and it's just because he's a loud black man who is doing things not the normal way in college football. It's getting a lot of these old writers a little mad and upset, but Deion is building something at Colorado. Travis Hunter absolutely deserves his recognition for being one of the best defensive backs in college football, because that's exactly what he is. He is one of the best defensive backs, and he is one of the best wide receivers, but had to talk about Travis Hunter not being named a finalist for the Thorpe Award. Next note up here, Shaq Barrett, the man who signed with Miami in the offseason, retired a couple months later, is like, maybe I want to come back now. And that just better be for Miami. I think there was some, when he did retire, if I do come back, I would like it to be for the Bucks again. That's not happening. If you want to come back, if you want to play football, Shaq, you're playing in Miami. Plain and simple, the trade deadline has passed. We can't acquire anything for you. You are contractually, whatever. I messed that up. Again, it's early in the morning. But he is obligated, under contract, to play for the Dolphins. The Dolphins should not grant him a release so he can play wherever he wants. The Dolphins need his help right now. Chop Robinson is playing his ass off, and he is miles ahead of where I thought he was going to be at this point in the season. Emmanuel Ogbah, our other edge rusher, also having a pretty decent season, given what I've seen from him for the last couple years. But if we could add Shaq Barrett into the mix, if we could activate Bradley Chubb's practice window and get him back sooner rather than later, I'm all of a sudden a big, big fan of our defense again. But again, we just have to beat the Packers. It really all does start tonight. When I say tonight, last night. And listening to this, you'll already know what's happened. But the Dolphins need to fucking win tonight. I really hope we do win. I think we're a good team. I think we're built different than in years past. And I don't really get a chance to preview this game because I'm doing a blind recap for it where I'm just going to get to call my shot at the end. But I do think we're a really good team. And if Tua doesn't get hurt, we are firmly in a playoff spot right now, like ahead of the Chargers, ahead of the Broncos. Probably, I won't say tied with the Ravens, but we'd have 8-9 wins right now. I say that very confidently. But Shaq Barrett, if you want to play football, you're playing for the Dolphins, plain and simple. The Jets have hired the 33rd team, which is Ari Meirov's company. If you don't know who Ari Meirov, started out as like an NFL aggregate account, just kind of retweeting or posting new tweets in his own name about news that Schefter or Rapp or any of the other big guys, Glazer, Pelissero, Rossini, Any of the news that they broke, he would also break the news at the same time. And now he's got his own sources. Now he's built his own brand. It's honestly really incredible what he's done. Few people have tried to replicate it, to little to no success. Can't say no success because those Dove Kleinman, JPA football, ML football, they're the worst of the worst accounts. But people click on them, so it is what it is. But yeah, Ari Meyrov's company has been hired to help with the search of the new Jets GM, and more specifically, Mike Tannenbaum and Rick Spielman are spearheading the charge to find the new Jets GM. I don't know what the Jets are doing. The Jets continue to get in their own way. If you don't know who Mike Tannenbaum and Rick Spielman are, they are both failed GMs in this league. Rick Spielman, a little bit more success than Mike. He was with the Vikings for decent amount. He would have been the GM before Kwesi. So I think that he would have maybe some either way. That would have been like the Case Keenum Vikings year. Sam Bradford would have been their quarterbacks one of those years. Either way, those were not good teams. And Mike Tannenbaum, he ruined the Jets, had no idea what he was doing, went over to the Dolphins, ruined the Dolphins, had no idea what he was doing. And now it's like, yeah, these two guys, this is who will find our new GM, who will definitely turn things around for us. The Jets are the Jets. They will continue to get in their own way. It's just very funny that, let's hire two failed GMs and one failed GM who's been spectacularly bad at his job to find our new GM. That doesn't seem right, but the Jets are the Jets. And finally, a little bit of a sad note here, but Demarcus Robinson was arrested for a DUI late Monday morning after the Rams loss over the Eagles. Nothing NFL suspension-wise has happened yet. I'm assuming he'll probably miss a couple games for this. Don't drink and drive, especially when you're a millionaire. Don't drink and drive. It really is that simple, and hopefully this is just a one-off thing and he's okay. I don't think he was like drunk, but again, when you're above the legal limit, you're drunk and you should not be behind a car. So, Rams might be without Demarcus Robinson for their matchup against the Saints, but don't drink and drive. I think it's as simple as that. Yeah, that does it for the NFL Weekly Update here. Okay, let's get into some blind recaps. I have been fairly accurate over the last, I'd say, month. I think I had a good month of November in terms of the landscape of the NFL and how close I've actually been with my predictions. So let's see if I can nail all of them today. I'm sure I won't, but fingers crossed I do. Starting off with the early afternoon game, we have the Bears and the Lions. And I wish I could sit here, tell you differently that, the Bears, they wowed us. That offense was looking good. The defense had the Lions in... Yeah, I was going to say they had them in jail, but, they didn't. But, the Bears, they wowed us. But no, the Bears did not win this one because the Bears have not won a road football game since December 26, 2021. And that did not change today. However, the Bears' offense did look pretty good without Shane Waldron calling the plays and just being an overall bad football coach. This offense has taken a turn. Caleb Williams has looked really good. The passing attack looks better. They still can't run the ball, but again, it's really hard to run against this Lions defense with Lee McNeil and DJ Reader plugging up those holes. But end of the day, was a good fight from the Bears, a better fight than people expected, but the Lions... They're the Lions. They're just way too good. They're rolling. Everyone's playing well. Sonic and Knuckles continue to do their thing. Final score in this one, though. Lions 27, Bears 20. The Bears do cover, and I think the Bears will cover in this one. Blind recap number 1, done. Blind recap number 2. The late afternoon game. Please do not rush home to watch this game. It is not worth your time. Catch the highlights, sit in traffic. Anything is better than putting this game on your TV. But the Giants get a new quarterback in, Tommy DeVito. It was nice for a game. He has a hurt shoulder now. Drew Lock should have been in there the entire time. And we get a little bit of a Drew Lock bump. It wasn't pretty, but at least Drew Lock was able to push the ball down the field with relative success. Neighbors had his first really good game in a while. 8 catches, 95 yards, and a TD in this one. But it wasn't about the offenses. It wasn't about the offenses on the Giants. It wasn't about the offense on the Cowboys. They really didn't do anything other than a few big field goals and the lone touchdowns there, but it was the defenses. Micah Parsons causing havoc, couple sacks on Drew Lock, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns doing their thing, sacking Cooper Rush. But the Drew Lock bump is real, and the Giants do come away in this one. Sloppy game, not a pretty game, but 17-13 Giants. That is the final score. Blind recap number 2, done. And finally, the Thursday night game. The game that matters if the Dolphins are going to be alive or dead for the rest of the season. And it was a cold one. And Tua said at the start of the week that he wants to kill these narratives, while Jordan Love at the start of the week was like, no, I would prefer to play football in a dome. I know which quarterback has the better mentality about it, and the Dolphins prevail. We win this one. But what else am I going to say? I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, the Packers beat us and blah, blah, blah. No, the Dolphins won. Our passing attack was too much. The defense, Packers defense, banged up, could not stop us. Achane, Tyreek had his first 100-yard game since week 1 of the NFL season. I think that's right anyways. Either way, I'm going with it. Jordan Love was hard to stop, but again, this Packers offense continues to get in their own way more often than not. A few costly turnovers from Love, some big drops from Dontavian Wicks and Christian Watson, and the Dolphins just played slightly better football. Our season is alive. We are pushing for the playoffs. We are going to make the playoffs. This Dolphins team is good. We are rolling. Final score, Dolphins 27, Packers 20. Third blind recap done. I'm hoping and I'm praying that I'm right. Well, I'm hoping that I'm praying really about that I'm right about the last one. The Dolphins need to win this. The Dolphins really do need to win this. But let's get into the week 13 preview here. Starting off with our Friday, the Black Friday game. The Black Friday game that starts at 3 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time. I'm not really complaining. I'm fine to have that game happen then, but it definitely is a weird one. But the number 32 Raiders go against the number 3 Chiefs. Chiefs minus 13, total set at 42.5. The Chiefs are going to win, and if you don't believe me, you can believe Antonio Pierce, the Raiders head coach, who said, this is the best team in football going against the worst team in football. Calling your own team the worst team in football typically isn't a good thing for Raiders coaches, or just head coaches in general. Don't call your team the worst team in football, but that's what the Raiders are, and that's what they have been for quite a while now. It's been a long time since they beat the Ravens in week 2. But when you're starting Desmond Ridder at quarterback, when you have no running game and your best running back might be old man Amir Abdullah, I don't know what to really tell you. I think it's as simple as that. I don't think Antonio Pierce wants to be the head coach. I think he enjoyed the interim role and doing the raw interim head coach bump, doing his thing. And then I think he got into the offseason, and I think he got into training camp, and he was like, this is too much. He doesn't want to do it anymore, and he will be fired by the end of the season. I don't see a world where, other than Mark Davis has no money to be paying 3 head coaches to not coach his team, but I don't have to say much. The Chiefs are going to win. plain and simple, the Chiefs are going to win. This isn't even like a Panthers last week where I'm like, maybe the Panthers can do a little something, cause a little magic. No. The Raiders are bad, and Desmond Ridder is the quarterback. If Gardner Minshew was the quarterback, I'd still be saying the Raiders are the bad. But, your typical Raiders viewing, watch for Brock Bowers, watch for Max Crosby. The rest, who fucking cares? Hopefully DeAndre Hopkins has a big game because I need him to. Just in general, but Chiefs are going to win this one. Plain and simple. Next game up here, the number 17 ranked Texans against the number 31 ranked Jags. Texans -4. Total set of 43.5. This should be a big bounce back game from the Texans, you would think. They got embarrassed last week, even though the score was closer than me saying that they were embarrassed. But when you're losing to how many wins did the Titans have going into that week? 3 or 2? Either way, you should not have lost to that team. You got to play better football. Luckily for you, the Jags, I think, hate their coaches and have had nothing to play for weeks now. Trevor Lawrence might be coming back and playing in this one. I have no idea why he would want to do that. I would shut it down if I were him, but Jags off a bye could maybe cause a little bit of disturbances, I guess. I don't know why I said disturbances over any other word, but whatever. Like that Jags pass rush, at least on paper, Trayvon Walker, Josh Hines Allen, Eric Armstead, like the Texans offensive line sucks. They should be able to get pressure on CJ Stroud. It shouldn't matter. Again, it should not matter. But the fact that I wouldn't be shocked if the Jags play this one close or they act like they might have a chance to win this one is just telling how much the Texans have fallen off this season. No Jalen Petrie for them. That's a big loss in their secondary. I still think the Texans are going to win just because I do believe in like the Texans coaching staff and CJ Stroud and kind of what they're working with compared to the Jags, who have just nothing to believe in, they have no one to believe in on that team. So Texans should win, but I'm avoiding this game in general. Next game up here, the number 9 ranked Chargers going against the number 21 ranked Falcons. Chargers -1, total set at 47.5. This is a 50-50 game to me. The Falcons coming off a bye, I am very interested to see what they look like, how they play. But it comes down to whether or not this Chargers defense can step up and hold the Falcons offense to under 20 points. Because that is the benchmark for if the Chargers can win most games, is if their defense can hold the opposing team. And this is going to be tough. Again, Falcons coming off a bye. Their offensive line is solid. Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins, but Drake London, Darnell Mooney, Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, like they got enough explosive pieces on this offense to do some damage. I'm picking the Chargers. I'm not 100% sure of where I'm actually leaning in this one. This is a 50-50 game. I hope the Chargers lose, more so just because wildcard races get a little bit tighter, and because Miami's won at this point already, duh. Fuck, I hope they do. And then the Chargers got a big matchup against the Broncos at some point where someone's got to lose that, but I would like for the Falcons to win. I think the Chargers are the better run team anyways right now, so I'm leaning Chargers. I'm avoiding this game in general, though. But that I guess we can move on. Next game up here, the number 24 ranked Titans versus the number 19 ranked Commanders. Commanders -5.5, total set at 44.5. Continue to buy the dip of the Commanders. I'm going to keep saying that. They are not a good team. They went on a great run to start the season. 3 straight losses. And I'm predicting another one here. This Titans team has been playing good football compared to what they were doing throughout the year. Will Levis has turned around from being a bad get him out of the league quarterback to serviceable starter anyways right now. The run game is looking good. Like everything's playing better. The defense is still playing very well. And what this Commanders team loves to do is run the damn football. But you know who it's hard to run the football against? T'Vondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons. T'Vondre Sweat has been, honestly, like if we're doing like my defensive rookie of the year rankings, he'd probably be in my top 5 if I'm making a ballot. T'Vondre Sweat has been a very good addition to the Titans this year. And I don't know. I don't believe in, and if the Commanders can't run the ball, they got Terry McLaurin, and that's the only man you really have to be concerned about. And I think that the Titans have the pieces in order to take away someone like Scary Terry. I don't know. I'm continuing to buy this dip on the Commanders. I think 5.5 points is way too much for a team that just let up 30 plus against the Cowboys. I think it's as simple as that. I'm in on the Titans this week. Go Titans, I guess. I don't know. Next game here, the number 16 ranked Cardinals going against the number 7th ranked Vikings. Vikings minus 3.5. Total set at 44.5. I have some tough one picking. I'm having a tough time picking this game. The Vikings, on one hand, are 9-2. They've looked pretty dominant all season. They've got the weapons. They've got the pieces on defense. Then overall, they're the better team. And on the Cardinals, I like their offense. They've been up and down. Last week, they looked all out of sorts. Couldn't get their run game going at all. But I still believe in them just a little bit. I still believe that Jonathan Gannon does have this defense playing well. But without the offense also moving full steam ahead, I don't know. Brian Flores' blitz-heavy defense will be put to the test because Kyler Murray, very, very good against the blitz. And should be able to do his toddler run thing, be very elusive, scramble, get out of the pocket, make some plays out of structure. Because that's what he does, and that's what he continues to do, and that's why he is a very talented quarterback in this league. I don't know. Again, this is one of those 50-50 games to me where the Vikings should win, and I think the Vikings will win. But the Cardinals, I said in the second half, I am buying in on the Cardinals. I think I'm going to keep doing it. I think that the Cardinals' offense is going to have a more of a come-to-life game. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think that we can finish it on that. I think I like the over in this one. It's a fairly low over, 44 and a half. I think the Cardinals' offense does get going. I think the Vikings' offense does what it does and will get going regardless. I lean the Cardinals. Actually, I don't. I think I lean the Vikings, maybe Cardinals plus 3.5, but I like the over in this one. We'll keep moving on. The number 20 ranked Colts against the number 29 ranked Patriots. Colts minus 2.5. Total set of 42.5. The Colts should win. I think it's as simple as that. The Colts should win. The Patriots offense just flat out stinks. It's as simple as that. Drake May is good. Everyone else, who cares? And they're going against a pretty good Colts defensive line. Leatu Latu has had a pretty impressive rookie season. I'm expecting him to make some plays in this one. DeForest Buckner should make some plays. Like Drake May is going to be pressured, but he is pressured every game, and he still continues to make plays regardless. It really comes down to of what version of Anthony Richardson do we get? Do we get the guy from the last couple weeks who continues to make plays and maybe the run game with Jonathan Taylor gets going to if Anthony Richardson can't play complete hero ball, that, hey, the running game is going and that is good. The Colts should win this, though. The Patriots are bad. They're not a good team. The Colts also aren't a great team, but when they are on, they can compete with the great teams. The Patriots, when they are completely on their game, they can compete with the Cardinals and the Bengals. I think that's the difference. The Colts just have a way higher ceiling of what they can achieve, where the Pats' ceiling as a team is, a bottom 15 team in the NFL regardless. So Colts should win this one, but again, what version of Anthony Richardson will we get? Next game up here, big AFC North divisional clash. The number 8 ranked Steelers against the number 18 ranked Bengals. Bengals -3, total set at 47.5. I think the Steelers should win this. They've had a relatively tough last couple weeks. Not really. They beat the Ravens, but they always beat the Ravens. And then who'd they lose to? The Browns in a snow game. But lucky for them and luckily for their offense, they're playing one of the worst defenses in the league. The Bengals stink. The Bengals defense stinks. That's what I should say. And this should be the game where Najee Harris and Jalen Warren really get going. George Pickens does his George Pickens thing. The defense, again, if you can contain Jamar Chase, which is very, very hard to do, you should come away with a win in this one. But again, stopping Jamar Chase, no one is really able to do it to a full extent. But limit the damage, Again, if you just stop Joe Burrow a few times, and I don't know, I think with how bad that Bengals offensive line is going against TJ Watt, Larry Ogunjobi, Keanu Benton, Alex Highsmith, Preston Smith, Cam Hayward, so many guys who can get to the quarterback on that team in that front seven. I'm shocked that the Bengals are favored in this one. Their defense sucks. I really don't care. Their defense and offensive line are so bad that unless Joe Burrow scores 25 plus points, the Steelers should be able to come away with a win in this one. I am on the Steelers in this one as a moneyline dog. But we can move on. The number 15 ranked Seahawks going against the number 28 ranked Jets. Seahawks -2, total set at 42.5. The Seahawks defense looks like it's coming into its own a little bit. Reek Woolen, Devin Witherspoon, both playing very good football. This defensive line, Leonard Williams, Byron Murphy, Boye Mafe, again, all playing really good football. And they're going against a team like the Jets, who most dysfunctional team in the league. Everybody hates everybody. It seems they had no interim head coaching bump. Actually, did they win with Jeff Ulbricht's first game? They might have won. What did Keegan send me? Aaron Rodgers on if he thinks there is a leak problem within the Jets organization. 100% yes. Aaron Rodgers is... I don't even know how to explain Aaron Rodgers. The man is a psychopath, sociopath, narcissist who... It's never his fault. Of course it's never his fault. It's like the... what's his name? Tim something. The sketch dude from I Think You Should Leave on Netflix. But it's like that one sketch where a hot dog car crashes into a store and everyone's like, we gotta find who did this. We gotta, who could have done this? And then, I'm really mad at, but Tim, the guy who created the show in his hot dog costume is like, yeah, we got to find out who did this, when clearly he was the one who did this. That's consistently Aaron Rodgers and what he has done this season. Apparently, Rodgers has had a hurt ankle since week 4 against the Broncos. Actually, I take that back. Hurt ankle, hurt hamstring, hurt shoulder, just everything. Everything's been ailing him, but has refused to get any imaging done on his leg in general, on his body in general. Because, and again, he can just say, oh, he's sore, he's playing through injuries, but doesn't want people to actually confirm that those injuries are real and get proper treatment for them. Rodgers is a weird guy. I think that we've all known this. But yeah, Jets might not have Breece Hall. That will be a big loss. I don't know. I have no faith in anything the Jets do. They're playing with no fight. They're playing with no heart. Their defense sucks now. Ahmad Gardner has lost his nickname of Sauce, and he deserves to lose that nickname. The Jets stink. The Seahawks maybe have figured some things out. Geno Smith revenge game. That's the big storyline in this one. We'll keep moving, though. Next game up here, the number 14 ranked Rams against the number 25 ranked Saints. Rams minus 2.5. Total set at 49.5. The Rams should win. The Rams should win easily, but Darren Rizzi has somehow made it so any opposing kicker that he goes against misses a bunch of field goals. And the Rams kicker has had his woes the last couple weeks. So that might continue, but I think the Rams offense will be too much for the Saints. That interim head coach bump has to wear off at some point. Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, I think will be too much for the Saints defense to handle. And again, the Saints offense has been deep bombs to Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Taysom Hill. That shouldn't be that hard to stop, but they're 2-0 since Rizzi's been there, and MVS has been playing really good football somehow, and Taysom Hill has been Taysom Hill, but the Rams are so much better. The Rams are better coached. They're a better offense. I won't say that they're a better defense because their secondary isn't really good, but again, stopping Taysom Hill and MVS should be a relatively easy thing to do in the NFL. I don't know if Darren Rizzi is working some voodoo down in New Orleans, because New Orleans is the voodoo capital of America. I have no idea if that's true. That sounds right, though. There is definitely a lot of voodoo down there. Either way, I'm getting sidetracked. The Rams should win this one. I think it's as simple as that. It's as easy as that. We can keep going here. The biggest game of the week, other than the Dolphins-Packers, the number 5 ranked Eagles against the number 4 ranked Ravens. Ravens minus 3. I forgot who's actually the favorite in this one. Ravens minus 3. Total set at 51.5. This is going to be a tough one. I'm definitely picking the Ravens because, again, in big moments against not equally talented, because obviously the Eagles are the more talented team, but the Ravens are a very talented team in their own right, and their coaching is better. And this just feels like a game that things are going to get close, and Nick Sirianni is going to abandon some elements of what makes his team elite and special, and he's going to make some moves that are going to cost the Eagles in this one. That's just my 2 cents. I'm not a Nick Sirianni believer. I think it's very fair for me to not be a Nick Sirianni believer, but these are the games where he can change my opinion slightly on him. He needs to not be an idiot, and the Eagles, again, this should be a very good game. I'm very interested to see how each team's game plan goes. The Ravens' run defense is very, very good. And just right there, that worries me, because if I know that the Ravens' run defense is very good, you can damn well be sure that Nick Sirianni knows. And if Nick Sirianni is like, ooh, the Ravens' run defense is really good, maybe we should stop running Saquon Barkley and have Jalen Hurts throw the ball a million times. If Jalen Hurts throws, if he has 30 or more attempts in this one, the Eagles lose this game. I think I can say that confidently. Eagles need to continue what they're doing. Run the ball, give Saquon the ball. Ravens need to continue doing what they're doing. Give Derrick Henry the ball. I think Ravens are undefeated when Derrick Henry has 20 plus carries. But that makes sense because when Derrick Henry gets 20 plus carries, the man's got like 150 yards and 2 TDs. He's very good. They're very good. I'm very excited. I was going to say, I won't even really be watching this game because I will be tailgating in Buffalo. So I will be monitoring. Next week's episode should be interesting because I won't actually get a real look at what happened at a lot of these games. It'll probably be a shorter show on Wednesday, but this is going to be a very good game. Sunday night game. The game that I will be present at, that I will be watching, that I will be... I don't really know who I want to win in this one. I think the Bills can clinch the division if Miami loses Thursday and they win on Sunday. But the number 13 ranked Niners versus the number 2 ranked Bills. Bills -7. Total set at 44.5. And a couple of you at home might be wondering, it's like, Bills -7? That seems like way too big of a line. And I would agree, but then you take a look at the injury report for the Niners right now. Nick Bosa did not practice. Trent Williams did not practice. Christian McCaffrey did not practice. Diamador Lenore did not practice. Aaron Banks and Jordan Elliott did not practice. I think it's Cameron Flanagan-Fowles, linebacker, did not practice. Limited, Brock Purdy, Dre Greenlaw, Dominic Pooty. That's basically their entire team. And not even listed Fred Warner, who has a fractured ankle, who for some reason he's still practicing at full speed. I don't get it, but that is why it's Bills -7, because the Niners might be fielding their B team. And I swear to God, if I am going to Buffalo to watch two teams that I'm not even a fan of, and I get to see Brandon Allen play quarterback, I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to be very, very pissed off. I will be happy to watch Josh Allen and the Bills steamroll them. Because if Brock Purdy is out, it's going to be a nasty game. I hope Brock Purdy's in. Like, honestly, like out of all of those names in, I hope Trent Williams plays. I think CMC will play, but they need their quarterback in. They desperately need their quarterback in for them to have any kind of real chance. We will see anyways. But again, the Bills should win. I'm excited to see Josh Allen. This is going to be the third time I've seen Josh Allen. One was his second-year season going against Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Dolphins. That was embarrassing in 2019. And I think it was it was... When did I go to Bills? Because I think it was 2018 actually. It was, so it would have been rookie year Josh Allen against the Dolphins, and I think, so Ryan Tannehill versus Josh Allen, and then I saw Dwayne Haskins, RIP, versus Josh Allen. So, a month ago when we booked everything, and it's like, the Niners are looking good, the Bills are looking good, this should be a really two of the best teams in the NFL squaring off against each other, and then the Niners just decided to implode. I get to watch an NFL game. I am very happy that I get to watch an NFL game. I just hope that the Niners don't make an enemy out of me for the foreseeable future because all of their team is injured and they field the backups. Regardless, we can go on to Monday Night Football. The number 23 ranked Browns against the 11th ranked Broncos. Broncos -5.5. Total set at 41.5. Broncos have been playing very good football, but this is the first defense for them in a while that is a solid defense for them to go up against. Myles Garrett, again, this is one of the best offensive lines in the league right now, and the Browns are going to have a tough test, but the discourse around Bo Nix has really been lost in what he's been doing. Bo Nix is playing very good football compared to obviously what he was doing at the start of the year. But Bo Nix is not playing some elite wow type football. He's doing exactly what he's been asked to do. He is managing the game at a very high level. And that is what Bo Nix does. He is a game manager. He is not some wow QB who's going to dazzle you week to week. He's playing very good football. But Bo Nix is not... Don't make Bo Nix out to something that he's not. He is a fine quarterback, and we can leave it at that. Am I Bo leaving for the rest of the season? Kinda, I guess. I want to pick the Browns in this one because the Jerry Jeudy revenge game. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be tough. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. The Broncos' defense is very good. The Browns' defense, when they are on, are also very good. And the total's set at 41.5 for that reason. I don't know. I'm kind of going to avoid this game in general. It's not going to be a fun game to watch, I can tell you that. But the Bo Nix hype needs to be stopped a little bit. I think I will 100% be on the Bo Nix is on his Mac Jones arc come the offseason. But right now, Bo Nix playing good game-managing type of football. And that is the Week 13 preview. Not much to really cap off to end the episode other than, my God, I hope the Dolphins win. I think that they will. I believe in them. We will see, though. We will see. But yeah, I guess I'll leave it here. I got to take my lovely dog outside for a walk. I got a pack for Montreal. And then I got to drive to Montreal. I got to see some of my friends. It's going to be a busy weekend. I'm driving to Montreal this morning, watching football games there, coming back Friday night. Then I leave Saturday morning to Toronto on the train, taking a bus from Toronto to Buffalo. Get to be tailgating with Bill's Mafia. I think the only thing that I'm hoping doesn't happen is some dickhead throws a drink on me because I'm wearing my Dolphins jacket. I don't think it's going to happen. I am not a confrontational person. So any dickhead that tries to yell at me, I mean, first of all, I don't know why a Dolphins fan would upset you. You own us. But it's going to be fun. Going to be a good weekend. I am excited to report my boots on the ground findings for this Bills game on Wednesday's show. But yeah, I will end it here. As always, if you've liked this, please like, share, retweet, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Tell all your friends, and until next... Jeez, I fumbled fuck those words. And until next time, peace.